Ever stared at a trading chart, heart pounding, as your position plummets into the red, wondering why this always seems to happen to you? What if I told you that the market isn't what's beating you, you're beating yourself? Welcome to No Luck, No Lambo, just consistent wins, where today we're diving into the uncomfortable truth about why most traders fail and how a select few consistently succeed without relying on luck or flaunting wealth. Has this ever happened to you? You research a trade for days, feeling confident about your analysis. You enter the position and immediately the market moves against you. Your stomach tightens. You start questioning everything. Maybe I should cut my losses, you think. But then you remember how much work went into this trade. It'll come back, you tell yourself, and sometimes it does, just enough to keep you playing this dangerous game. But other times, the market hands you a bill that can wipe out weeks or even months of gains. The harsh reality is that trading isn't about having the fanciest indicators or following the loudest guru on social media. It's about mastering the battlefield that exists between your ears. The market doesn't know you exist. It doesn't care about your dreams, your bills, or that vacation you promised your family. It simply reflects the collective decisions of millions of participants and hands you the consequences of your own choices. Stay with me until the end of this video, because what you're about to discover might completely transform how you approach the markets. I spent years learning these lessons the hard way, blowing multiple accounts before finally understanding that consistency doesn't come from a secret strategy. It comes from consistent behavior. But before we begin, please hit the like button and let me know where in the world you're watching from today. It's always fascinating seeing who's joining us from around the world. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our future videos. Think about it. Every blown account you've ever had wasn't the market's fault. The market just handed you the bill for your own mistakes, your impatience, your greed, your fear, your inability to stick to your own rules. These are the real enemies, not the price action on your screen. I call this market tuition, the unavoidable cost of your trading education. And here's the thing about tuition. You can't buy your way around it. Everyone who's lasted in this game has paid it. The market has a special way of humbling you right when you think you've got it all figured out. Just when your confidence reaches its peak, when you start thinking you can't lose, that's precisely when she takes it all back and then some. Now imagine trading without the emotional roller coaster. Imagine making decisions based on your predetermined plan rather than the fluctuating emotions that typically drive most traders to disaster. Imagine walking away from the screen when conditions aren't right, instead of forcing trades out of boredom or FOMO. This is what separates the consistently profitable from the perpetually struggling. When I first started journaling my trades, I made a critical mistake. I only tracked the technical aspects: entry price, exit price, profit or loss. But the real breakthrough came when I began documenting what was happening inside my mind. That subtle worry before entering a imposition, that surge of excitement when the trade moved in my favor, that knot in my stomach when it didn't. These emotional patterns revealed more about my trading problems than any technical analysis ever could. You see, the real battlefield isn't on your screen, it's in your head. The market is simply a mirror reflecting your psychology back at you. Your impatience shows up as premature entries. Your insecurity manifests as cutting winners short. Your stubbornness appears as refusing to take losses. These internal conflicts create external consequences in your trading account. This psychological dimension explains why two traders can look at the exact same chart and make completely different decisions. One sees an opportunity, the other sees danger. One holds through volatility, the other panics and exits. The difference isn't in their technical knowledge, it's in their mental framework. You can't trade price action effectively if you don't understand your own action. The revelation here is that mastering trading requires a journey inward. Behind every successful trader is a person who has developed an intimate understanding of their own psychological triggers. They've mapped their emotional landscape as carefully as they've studied their technical indicators. They know exactly when their judgment might be clouded by fear or overconfidence. But there's another dimension to this mental mastery that few traders ever discover: the discipline of non-trading. Most traders lose money not because of bad trades, but because of unnecessary ones. The market goes quiet, sideways, or unclear, and they feel compelled to do something, anything. This restless itch to always be in the market drains accounts faster than bad analysis ever could. I've watched countless traders blow their entire capital base during periods when they should have been sitting on their hands. The market doesn't care about your boredom or your desire for action. It doesn't exist to entertain you or provide daily income. It moves on its own rhythm, and true professionals know when to dance with it and when to step aside. The hidden truth is that some of the most profitable trades I've ever made were the ones I didn't take. Days when I recognized that conditions weren't optimal, when setups weren't clear, when my edge wasn't present, and I had the discipline to do nothing. This sounds simple in theory, but proves immensely difficult in practice. The impulse to act, to participate, to feel like you're doing something can override even the most rational trading plan. Learning this discipline transformed my approach entirely. I started asking myself before every potential trade, am I entering because conditions meet my criteria or because I'm bored? Am I seeing a genuine opportunity or am I manufacturing one to satisfy my need for action? This level of self-awareness creates a protective barrier between impulse and execution. If you want more no-nonsense trading insights, without the hype, hit that subscribe button now. The most powerful decision you can make as a trader is often no decision at all. Embracing the discipline of strategic inaction, of waiting patiently while others chase every twitch of the market, puts you in rare company. It's the quiet power that the masses never discover because they're too busy reacting to every market movement. Let me know in the comments if you've experienced this by typing "The battle is within," if you've realized your trading struggles might be more psychological than technical. This understanding leads us to another profound revelation about trading success. Consistency in profits is impossible without consistency in habits. I've watched countless traders chase after the perfect strategy, jumping from one system to another, constantly tweaking their indicators, all while ignoring the real variable in the equation, themselves. The uncomfortable truth is that your trading results aren't random. They're a precise reflection of who you are. Every decision you make, each entry, exit, position size, and risk level adds up to create a mirror image of your character. Impulsive in life? Your trades will show it. Disciplined in your daily habits? Your equity curve will reveal that too. Prone to seeking instant gratification? Your premature exits will tell that story. The market doesn't create your results. It merely reflects the essence of who you are back to you with brutal honesty. This revelation can be either devastating or liberating, depending on how you receive it. The devastating part is realizing there's nowhere to hide. No strategy can save you from yourself. The liberating part is understanding that by transforming your character, you automatically transform your results. This inner work represents the hidden journey that separates the consistently profitable from the perpetually struggling. I remember the exact moment this truth hit me. I was reviewing months of trading data and noticed patterns that perfectly matched my personality flaws: impatience during consolidations, overthinking during trends, hesitation when conviction was needed. The chart wasn't just showing price movements, it was displaying a detailed map of my psychological landscape. But here's where it gets interesting. Among all the character traits that influence trading success, one stands supreme: patience. The greatest revelation of my trading journey was discovering that the best traders aren't the smartest, fastest, or even the most knowledgeable. They're simply the ones who can sit tight when everyone else is fidgeting. This patience manifests in two crucial ways. First, it allows you to ride winning trends when others are jumping ship at the first sign of volatility. Second, it helps you survive losing streaks by preventing you from overtrading or making desperate attempts to recover losses. The principle never changes. Only the market direction does. The same mental strength that helps you hold a winner through turbulence helps you stay on the sidelines when conditions aren't favorable. Think about the last time you had a significant winning trade. What made it successful? Often, it wasn't your brilliant entry. It was your ability to sit through the inevitable pullbacks and let the full move develop. Now think about your worst losing streak. What made it so damaging? Probably not one catastrophic trade, but a series of forced, low-probability entries as you tried to fight your way back to profitability. This revelation completely transforms how you approach the markets. Instead of focusing solely on technical analysis, you begin cultivating the patience of a sniper, waiting hours, days, or even weeks for perfect conditions before taking action. You start viewing patience not as passive waiting, but as an active form of trading discipline. If you've discovered that patience might be the missing ingredient in your trading journey, write "sitting tight" in the comments. It's often the hardest skill to master, but delivers the greatest rewards. There's a subtle shift that occurs when your trading journey matures, a transformation in how you relate to the market itself. In my early days, I approached trading as if I had something to prove. Each trade felt like a battle where I needed to impose my will. I was fighting the market, trying to bend it to my analysis, my time frame, my desires. It's no wonder I kept losing those battles. The breakthrough moment came when I stopped trying to prove something to the market and started trading with it. This mindset shift sounds simple, but it represents a fundamental reorientation in your relationship with price action. It's like the difference between swimming against a current and learning to navigate with it. What I've discovered is that the market actually communicates with us. It whispers before it shouts. But here's the revelation that changed everything for me. Amateurs only hear the shouting, while professionals learn to hear the whispers. Those subtle shifts in volume, those small changes in price structure, those minor alterations in momentum, they're all quiet signals being sent well before major moves occur. Behind the scenes of every significant market movement are dozens of small clues that most traders completely miss. They're waiting for obvious breakouts, clear reversals, or dramatic news events. By then, the smart money has already positioned itself based on those earlier whispers. Learning to attune your senses to these subtle indicators is like developing a sixth sense for market direction. This sensitivity doesn't come from more indicators or complex algorithms. It comes from presence. When you stop forcing trades and start observing the market with genuine curiosity, patterns emerge that were invisible before. You begin noticing how certain volume signatures precede reversals, how momentum divergences signal potential exhaustion, how market rhythm changes before significant moves. But here's another counterintuitive truth about trading that few discuss openly. Consistency comes from boredom. This revelation shocked me when I first experienced it. After years of seeking the excitement of big wins and the adrenaline of market action, I discovered that truly professional trading feels almost dull. You'll know you're becoming consistent when trading no longer delivers emotional highs and lows. when it feels like a methodical execution of a well-tested plan rather than an emotional roller coaster. The professionals I've met don't experience the euphoria of a big win or the devastation of a loss. They simply note the outcome and move on to the next setup, maintaining an almost detached equanimity throughout. If this honest approach to trading resonated with you, smash that like button to help more traders discover these principles. This emotional neutrality represents the summit of trading psychology. When your decision-making becomes so consistent that it feels automatic, when your risk management is so ingrained that it's second nature, when your entries and exits follow your rules without internal debate, that's when your equity curve begins its steady climb. The journey from excitement to apparent boredom doesn't mean you've lost passion for trading. Rather, you've redirected that passion from the outcome to the process itself. You find satisfaction not in the thrill of profits, but in the perfect execution of your approach. You measure success not by the size of wins, but by your adherence to your trading principles. This path toward trading maturity represents the road less traveled. Most never reach this stage because they remain addicted to the dopamine hits that come from trading as entertainment rather than as a disciplined profession. If you've noticed yourself becoming less emotional about your trading results and more focused on your process, share "I hear the whispers" in the comments. You're experiencing a crucial evolution in your trading journey. Now let me share a fundamental misconception that keeps most traders trapped in a cycle of inconsistency. They believe their primary job is prediction. I certainly did. For years, I stared at charts like a fortune teller, drawing trend lines and plotting indicators, convinced that if I could just forecast the next move correctly, I'd finally crack the code. I wanted to feel the satisfaction of being right, of saying, "I called it," when the market moved my way. But here's the illuminating truth I discovered. Markets don't reward guesswork. They reward readiness. This revelation completely transformed my approach. I realized prediction is fundamentally about ego, about being right. Preparation, on the other hand, is about survival, about being ready for whatever happens next. The mindset shift is subtle but profound. Instead of asking, "Where will price go next?" I began asking, "How will I respond if price does X, Y, or Z?" This reframes trading from a prediction game into a readiness practice. The master trader doesn't need to know exactly what will happen. They just need to be prepared for the range of possibilities. Behind the scenes of successful trading is hours of work that happens when the market is closed. I now spend more time reviewing charts, studying patterns, and preparing scenarios than I do actually executing trades. By the time the opening bell rings, I'm not trying to predict. I'm simply waiting for confirmation of what I've already prepared. 4. This preparation manifests as clearly defined zones on my charts, precise entry and exit rules, and predetermined risk parameters. I know exactly what a valid trade looks like for my strategy and what doesn't qualify. I know my exact position size before I ever place an order. I've already decided where my stop goes and how I'll manage the trade if it works in my favor. The revelation that changed everything for me was understanding that this kind of waiting isn't passive. It's an active and powerful state. It's like a hunter setting traps rather than chasing prey. The trap doesn't exhaust itself running after the animal. It simply waits patiently in the right spot. When the conditions align, action is immediate and decisive. Most traders can't embrace this approach because they confuse movement with opportunity. They feel they must constantly be doing something, analyzing another indicator, entering another position, adjusting another stop. But this frenetic activity often masks a lack of true preparation. It's reaction rather than readiness. The prepared trader moves from a reactive state to a responsive one. Instead of being caught off guard by market movements, they recognize patterns they've seen and studied hundreds of times before. They don't need to think about what to do next. They've already decided. This clarity creates a sense of calm confidence that's impossible to achieve through prediction alone. I remember a particularly volatile day when prices were whipping up and down violently. Other traders were frantically trying to predict the next swing, but my levels were already marked. I wasn't guessing, I was waiting. When price finally reached my zone and gave the confirmation I needed, I entered without hesitation. That trade worked not because I predicted anything magical, but because preparation had put me in position. Patience paid the bill. If you've realized that you might be spending too much time trying to predict markets and not enough time preparing for them, drop "ready, not right" in the comments. It might be the breakthrough perspective that changes your results. This shift in preparation leads us to one of the most profound distinctions between amateur and professional traders: how they measure success. The amateur's scorecard is simple: results. Did I make money today? This week? This month? Their emotional state rises and falls with their equity curve, creating a psychological roller coaster that inevitably impacts their decision-making. The professional, however, has experienced a fundamental transformation in how they evaluate their performance. They measure success by execution, by how faithfully they followed their trading plan, regardless of the outcome. This perspective shift sounds simple, but represents a complete rewiring of the trader's mindset. It's moving from an outcome-based framework to a process-based one. When I finally embraced this principle, something remarkable happened. Losing trades no longer shook my confidence because I knew they were just part of the statistical distribution of outcomes. If I executed perfectly according to my plan and the trade still lost money, that wasn't a failure. That was just trading. The market doesn't deliver winning trades on demand, even with perfect execution. It delivers probabilities that play out over a series of trades. The hidden power in this mindset is how it protects your psychological capital. Every trader experiences losing streaks, periods, when even your highest probability setups fail repeatedly. The trader focused on results panics during these periods, abandoning their strategy or desperately changing their approach. The trader focused on process remains steady, knowing that proper execution will eventually align with favorable outcomes if their edge is real. I remember one particularly difficult month when nothing seemed to work. Every setup I took, setups that had been profitable for months, suddenly resulted in stop-outs. In my earlier days, this would have sent me spiraling into doubt and overtrading. Instead, I methodically reviewed each trade and confirmed I had executed precisely according to my rules. The market was simply in a phase where my edge was temporarily neutralized. Rather than abandoning my approach, I slightly reduced position size and continued executing. When the market environment shifted back, I was still there, still following my process, ready to capture the opportunities. This process-oriented framework naturally leads to another crucial insight. Trading isn't about constant engagement. It's about selective engagement. Most traders feel compelled to always have a position, to always be doing something. But the truly skilled trader understands that being selective about when you engage with the market is just as important as how you engage. The same mental discipline that allows you to ride a winner through normal volatility is the same discipline that keeps you from touching the keyboard when conditions are unclear. It's the ability to say, "There's nothing for me here right now," and walk away. This selective engagement is perhaps the most underappreciated skill in trading. Yet it's often what separates the consistently profitable from those who experience occasional wins, followed by devastating losses. If you find yourself nodding along with this insight about process over results, type execution matters in the comments. It might be the missing perspective in your trading approach. Let's talk about something that most trading educators never address honestly: failure. Specifically, blown accounts. Most traders experience at least one catastrophic loss in their journey, yet we treat these moments as shameful secrets rather than what they truly are: valuable market tuition. This perspective shift changed everything for me. When I blew my first account, I felt devastated. I interpreted it as evidence that I wasn't cut out for trading, that I lacked some essential quality needed for success. But with time and reflection, I realized something profound. The market wasn't punishing me, it was teaching me. Every dollar I lost had a lesson attached to it, if I was willing to look for it. This revelation transformed how I viewed my trading journey. Rather than seeing losses as failures to be forgotten, I began treating them as expensive education to be studied. I started asking different questions. What pattern of behavior led to this outcome? What emotional trigger caused me to break my rules? What belief about the market was proven wrong by this experience? Behind the scenes of every blown account are fingerprints of your trading habits. Maybe it's widening stops when trades move against you. Perhaps it's doubling down on losing positions to average in, or possibly it's over-trading during drawdowns to make back what you've lost. When you start examining these patterns with curiosity rather than judgment, the losses begin to transform into wisdom. The market charges tuition in proportion to the lesson being taught. Small lessons might cost you a few stop-outs. Fundamental lessons about risk management or emotional control, those often come with a much steeper price tag. The real tragedy isn't paying this tuition, it's paying it repeatedly without ever graduating to the next level of understanding. Every successful trader you've ever heard of has blown up at least once. They don't hide these experiences. They recognize them as critical turning points in their development. These painful episodes force a level of honest self-assessment that comfort never could. They strip away illusions and expose the gaps in your trading approach that need addressing. But extracting value from these experiences requires a specific mindset, one that sees losses not as punishments, but as investments in your evolution as a trader. This perspective allows you to face your mistakes directly, rather than hiding from them in shame. It transforms regret into research. Now let me share the most fundamental insight about trading discipline. It's not primarily about rules or systems. It's psychological at its core. True discipline isn't following a trading plan when it's easy. It's adhering to it when every emotional fiber in your body is screaming for you to do otherwise. This deeper discipline manifests as the ability to control your own impulses, to say no to the excitement that pushes you to enter prematurely, to resist the fear that tempts you to exit too early, to reject the illusion that you can somehow make the market move just by participating in it. I had to train myself to recognize that no trade days are part of the plan, that sitting through a quiet session without forcing action is a form of discipline. I had to learn that every bad trade starts with a small compromise, a moment when you tell yourself, "This setup is close enough," or "I'll just take a smaller position this time." These tiny capitulations to impulse are where discipline truly lives or dies. If you've realized that your biggest trading challenge might be your own psychology rather than your strategy, type "inner discipline" in the comments. Acknowledging this truth is often the first step towards sustainable results. So there you have it. The real path to trading consistency isn't found in some secret indicator or mysterious pattern. It's found in the quiet work of self-mastery that few are willing to undertake. The market will keep teaching these lessons whether we learn them or not. The only choice we have is how much tuition we pay before the lessons sink in. I hope this conversation has sparked something in you. Perhaps recognition of patterns you've experienced in your own trading journey or insights into challenges you've been facing. This kind of inner work isn't glamorous, but it's where real transformation happens. If something in this video resonated with you today, I'd love to hear which part hit home the hardest. Drop a comment with "market tuition paid" if you've been through some of these expensive lessons yourself and are ready to extract their full value. If you found value in these insights, consider hitting that subscribe button. I share these hard-earned trading truths regularly, not the hyped-up promises of overnight success, but the authentic path to sustainable results that most aren't willing to discuss. And if this perspective shift helped you today, a simple like lets me know I'm on the right track with the content I'm creating. It's a small gesture that makes a meaningful difference. I've put together a deeper exploration of trading psychology in the video right here that picks up where this one leaves off. It focuses specifically on how to rebuild after a significant loss, something every serious trader needs to know. Click and join me there to continue this journey toward consistent, sustainable trading success.